My name is Mark Dixon and I'm a trustee of the Royal Humane Society. And I'm here to tell you about the latest story in our journey through the Society's history and some of the amazing life-saving incidents that have taken place. This story is from 1986. Margaret Thatcher is Prime Minister. The older ones amongst you might remember the US spaceship Challenger blowing up 73 seconds into its flight, sadly killing all on board. Or the terrible Chernobyl nuclear disaster in what was then the Soviet Union, now Ukraine. Or even Diego Maradona at the peak of his power destroying England in the World Cup with two extraordinary goals, one infamous, one iconic. But our story takes place that year on the Watford Road in Wembley, Middlesex. A number of the people involved were eventually to be recognised by the Society, but we're going to concentrate on the most notable, Peter John Stevenson, a 59-year-old driver and care assistant. It's a remarkable story, not simply because of the bravery that Mr. Stevenson exhibited, but also for his persistence in going into danger over and over again in order to save lives, despite himself sustaining considerable injuries. Peter Stevenson was driving his ambulance, containing 5 passengers aged between 72 and 87, when he noticed a strong smell of petrol. And then there was a loud bang. He pulled in to the side of the road and noticed flames coming from the engine compartment. He then ran to the rear of the ambulance to engage the power lift for the wheelchairs, and then went to the near side to evacuate his first passenger from the front, because fire had already started to come into the vehicle. He then went back and saved 2 further passengers, entering the vehicle for each one separately in order to get them out. Now, by this time, black smoke and intensive heat was making the situation extremely dangerous, and Mr. Stevenson had sustained himself first and second degree burns to his hands. But there were still 2 more passengers inside the vehicle. So, what does he do? Well, he goes back in. The next man to be removed had to be dragged out as he weighed 14 stone, was already on fire, and was anyway very slow moving due to having had a stroke. Once he had been rescued, Mr. Stevenson went back inside the vehicle one more time and dragged out his final passenger. So basically, he just kept going on back into the blazing ambulance until he had saved all his elderly passengers. Now, it should be noted that there were 6 or 7 passers-by who also displayed considerable bravery and courage in assisting and helping to drag people out of the vehicle. And they all received recognition from the Royal Humane Society. But it's Mr. Stevenson who we are concentrating on here, because there's no doubt his infirm passengers would have had no chance of survival without his actions. Now, there were witnesses to the incident, and every single one stated that the work of Mr. Stevenson was quite outstanding. His thoughts and actions were only for his passengers. He repeatedly faced the horrors of fire and smoke and received severe burns to his hands. His story is humbling for those of us who have never faced such an experience, and he was surely a deserved recipient of the Royal Humane Society's Silver Medal. So that's the latest story as we celebrate our 250th year. There are plenty more similarly inspiring incidents for you to hear about on the Society's website, Twitter and Instagram. So please come back and listen to them, and if you can, please support us and help the Society in our anniversary year as we continue to recognise the many brave people and the many outstanding incidents of life-saving that occur. Thank you.